thank you for joining us this morning, which is the MEC's Business Engagement Breakfast. It is a collaborative effort putting this together between the entities of the Department of Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs, being led for this event by Trade and Investment Kwa-Zulu Natal, opening this platform and really enabling this platform for business and government to engage.
We have convened this business breakfast in order to update you on the progress we are making in addressing few critical issues we have raised. Why you have invited the Minister of Electricity, I'm sure we all understand today. It has been 52 days without load shedding in South Africa. I'm sure that deserves a huge round of applause.
South Africa is possibly the only modern economy where people clap hands for having had electricity for 50 days. So what have we done? Nothing magical. We simply fixed the machines. We have a 14 fleet of power stations, but there are 6 that are responsible for this problem. 3 of them have graduated from being problem state power stations. Kusile has graduated, Majuba has graduated. They are some of the best performing power stations. And as a result of that, we have a new problem. That new problem is that we are generating more electricity than we are consuming.
As you all know, government has designated Richards Bay ITZ as the energy hub. We visited a site for the first ever combined cycle power plant. This is planned gas-fired power plant that will include open cycle gas turbines and combined cycle gas turbine, the 3,000 megawatts. I'm sure you're also aware that Kwa-Zulu Natal, if that has been declared, it means that in the future they will rely upon our strength. 3,000 megawatts is going to be sufficient for this province, but solely it is also going to supply the neighboring countries, the entire South Africa. On top of that, we've got 750 megawatts that is going to be supplied by Mabasa, which is going to be key for this province.
From the time that we have had no load shedding in the last 50 days, I would estimate that as much as 15 to 20% of KZN still has outages because of maintenance issues. I think the mobile network operators and the telcos, there's probably about 5,000 data points that you've got where you can draw information from, and is a good proxy for what's happening on the power grid. And from that, I can say we're probably losing around 20% of sites because of maintenance. The big issue is the lead time for Eskom to respond. Where there's major outages, like cables being stolen in terms of infrastructure theft, it can take up to 6 months for Eskom to come and replace that cable.
The message is that there was meant to be 1,400 kilometers of transmission over the last 12 months to allow for onboarding of IPPs and alternative energy. And that Eskom to date has only done 72 kilometers of that 1,400. Whether that's true or not, I'd like the Minister to comment on that, to indicate what his understanding of the situation is, and if it is the case, what action can we expect?
Durban, when it comes to visibility, is way more expensive than all the other cities, including Joburg, Cape Town. It's actually, because of the raised drainages that are being used, it's 5 times more expensive, as well as the plan approvals. I know that we are aspiring to have 30 days, but what we're experiencing on the ground, we are having on average 9 months for plan approvals.
The National Treasury as well brought this to our attention. Comparison was done with other cities. Yes, indeed, I can confirm that we are expensive. Hence, when we are approving our budget, some of the proposed rate or tariffs were reviewed as per the submissions or proposals from our stakeholders and comments from National Treasury. We have instructed City Manager and the CFO, Dr. Sandile Muguni, to look at that. The matter is being addressed. All stakeholders will be given progress or will be updated. We have started a new program of making sure that we speed up the process of plans approvals so that businesses that intend to invest in our city, they don't get frustrated because of a long process of their plans being approved. Currently, we have a team that meets every week on a Friday morning to look at all the obstacles that might happen to delay those plans. Ever since we've started that program, we have seen some positive results. There's improvement, the feedback we're getting. Businesses are happy. We expect to improve in the next few months.
We have taken a stance of really creating a balance between attracting foreign investments and growing our own domestic investments. And really we learned a lesson from COVID wherein there was a lot of disruption in terms of movements of goods. And then if you were reliant on your global investments only, without growing your own domestic investments, then we have a problem of the disruptions of connectivity. As a result, we've then taken a balance wherein we are saying we would want to attract global investments because of they bring new technology, they bring in new skills, but also new capital, but also we need to grow massively our own domestic investments. In terms of balancing the two, with regards to domestic investments, obviously we support them through incentives. We support them through sector studies wherein we really analyze the value chains and the sectors of importance of the province, and then we package projects, and then we look for investors for those projects. And then in terms of global investors, in most cases, global investors would have done their research. They would have done their studies, whether they come here because of market or because of resource, or because of skills, depending which area of investment and what attracts them into our area. But we are really marketing ourselves as a resource-based kind of a country. As you know, we've got a lot of minerals, but also we've got a market because our market is not only limited to KZN, South Africa, but also we are also marketing ourselves as an export-led investment area, wherein our goods and our market fits into the global continent, into the continent as such in a region. We have developed a strategy to trade with Africa. As you know, the trading between African countries is really at a very, very less level. In fact, almost 3% of the trade happens within Africa itself. And we are saying South Africa is well positioned to actually be a continental player in terms of ensuring that our products get to Africa. And so now in terms of our export strategy, Africa first. So we're looking at Africa as a great market for us to tap into. Our large trade partners is China, is US, UK, and then we've got Germany, Sweden, and India as our major trade partners for export. Even though the import-export balance in most of these countries and major countries I've mentioned is at a negative on our side, however, there's been improvement in terms of the value of exports that we are taking to these countries.
KZN is a big manufacturing center, second biggest in the country. And actually with the port upgrades and the Sunrail upgrades, has a huge industrial future in front of it, in my view. That's driven also by the fact that you've got shortening supply chains around the world, more localization, and also this growing markets under the African Free Trade Agreement. So more need to actually manufacture within the continent and then provide the shorter supply chains and value chains within the continent itself. So then we have to look, and this has been the most fascinating thing with Dube Tradeport is the evolving nature of the requirements of investors. In the early days going in, everyone was very cost-driven, uncertain about the location, so they would try and push you down on the price, and we built in the early days of the project sort of some momentum with that. What we found now, as our track record has grown and our second phase is now well established, that the investors look for a lot more from where they arrive. Their ESG goals, for example, need to be met. So if you can provide them clean power, non-coal driven power, that's a huge value add for them. If you can, what does an investor need? Usually, they're coming into an environment which they have had to convince their own boards, their own shareholders, their own investors to invest in. So they don't want that to be disrupted. So they're looking for stability. And that's what we try to offer as Dube Tradeport. We try to resolve for all of their problems.
The things that we're doing, I will mention some key issues, in particular, issues that involve, the stakeholders who are here. The partnership we've got with the city, with eThekwini, the MOU we've got with the city, work very closely, the engagements we've got with the customers. And they will know that the president, set up what is called NLCC, National Logistics Crisis Committee. That meeting is sitting now, whereby industry, businesses, are putting their time, their resources to support what we're doing, as a port. And there's various other engagements through stakeholders whereby we collaborate to make sure that we deal with our problems. The things that are being done now as we speak, we'll know, the key one was about the congestion of the Encourage, which happened in November, December, January. And we managed to pull out of that through working, with our sister company, which is TPT, in dealing with the issues that are happening in there. We triggered, engagements that helped us to pull out of that.
We're all very well aware of the challenges. We're all very well aware of them. And we need to undo and unlock the bottlenecks that exist that create those challenges. Hence the importance of collaboration between government and business. Lieutenant General, that's what everybody's been wanting. To see that they actually are being listened to, their concerns just from a personal safety point of view, but in this context, from a business safety point of view.
It is true that we are beginning to see some changes in the province, and it's all due to the collaborations that we have. Us as the SAPS, as we decided back in 2021 when I arrived here, was that we need to make it our business to understand our client, understand what they need. They've got different needs. Clients, business, they've got different needs. They need to be able to address and address those needs. Where you have shortcomings, you need to be transparent and tell them that I have challenges here, and I'm going to need you to support me. And they have been doing a lot. And Graham and all the structures that they've been working with, they've been doing a lot to assist us. So that collaboration we've been having with business is the one that has actually made a difference to date. Same with communities out there. As we fight crime, you see police actions. It is because we have this good working relationship with community structures out there.
Things about business are important, but much more important are the social elements. And really, the issues that we need to deal with, there's been too much talking. We meet, we talk, and I'm delighted to hear the Minister talk about electricity. We've all noticed the load shedding reduction, but there are a lot of other challenges we need to get involved with. On the crime front, after the riots in 2021, we actually got together business and government, joint collaboration, set up the Greater Together Foundation, which many businesses in KZN pay for and support. And the collaboration with Commissioner Mkhwanazi has been nothing short of remarkable. And I've said to him on a few occasions, look, you don't need to come to the front line all the time. We need you alive. We don't need you dead. That's really the case. And so, Commissioner, thank you very much for that collaboration. But it's really the collaboration between business, between private security companies, between SAPS, between city police that's made the big difference in making sure that we address these things.